The Economic Freedom Fighters, EFF, is a South African Marxist, Leninist and black nationalist political party. It was founded by expelled former African National Congress Youth League, ANCYL, President Julius Malema, and his allies, in 2013. Malema is president of the EFF, heading the Central Command Team which serves as the central structure of the party. It is currently the third largest party in both houses of the South African Parliament. The party is also the official opposition in 3 of South Africa's 9 provincial legislatures. At a July 26, 2013 press briefing in Soweto, Malema announced that the new party had over 1,000 members, double the 500 required for registration with the Independent Electoral Commission, IEC. The EFF is now registered with the IEC, after an objection to its registration by the Freedom Front Plus, FF Plus, was dismissed in September 2013. In 2015, the EFF suspended MP Lucky Twala and expelled 3 MPs, Mvo Rameketsa, Andile Ngzidima and Kani Isile Litchfield Chabalala. Ngzidima formed his own party, named Black First Land First, BLF, while Litchfield Chabalala joined the United Democratic Movement. Malema has been chiefly accused by former members of purging his critics to consolidate his power, thus ruling the party with an iron fist. Malema acknowledged this criticism in a press conference and went on to say that the party should have expelled more ill-disciplined members. On August 6, 2015, the EFF announced that it has secured a constitutional court case for its #PayBackTheMoney campaign against Jacob Zuma. The case was heard on February 9, 2016. The judgment was released by Chief Justice Mogoeng and stated that the then president had violated the Constitution of South Africa, along with the Speaker of the National Assembly Balcom Bit. The president was given 60 days to fulfill the requirements of the public protector Thuli Madonsela. On February 27, 2018, the EFF tabled a motion in the National Assembly to amend the Constitution so as to allow for the expropriation of land without compensation. The motion, brought by the EFF leader Julius Malema, was adopted with a vote of 241 in support, and 83 against. The only parties who did not support the motion were the Democratic Alliance, Freedom Front Plus, COPE and the ACDP. Land expropriation is one of the F7 cardinal pillars. In 2018, the party's student wing, the EFF Student Command came in first at several Student Representative Council elections, defeating the African National Congress, ANC, aligned South African Students' Congress, SASCO, at the Durban University of Technology, the University of Zululand and Mangosuthu University of Technology. They also won in Cape Town, the District 6, Mowbray and Bellville Cape Peninsula University of Technology, CPUT, campuses with landslide victories. They also won the University of Cape Town. Peter Keetsi, president of the EFSC, said the win was a warning shot for what was going to happen in 2019 national general elections. He said the youth were the influencers of the future. This is an indication of what is to follow. Economic Freedom Fighters, EFF, South African political party formed in 2013 by former African National Congress, ANC, member Julius Malema and others. The party embraced a leftist stance and touted economic emancipation. Malema, a longtime ANC member, became president of the ANC Youth League in 2008. He was well known for his controversial statements and behavior, which ultimately led to his expulsion from the ANC in 2012. The next year he and others established the Economic Freedom Fighters Party to challenge the ANC in the 2014 elections. Malema became the party's leader. The EFF presented itself as a radical, leftist, anti-capitalist and anti-imperialist movement. The party's manifesto included many of the controversial propositions that Malema had promoted while in the ANC, including the nationalization of mines and banks in South Africa and the expropriation of land for redistribution, all toward the goal of economic emancipation. The manifesto also called for a number of initiatives to increase access to quality education and improve health and welfare services, and it decried corruption and discrimination. The EFF quickly found support, particularly among young adults, the poor, and the unemployed. The party made an impressive debut in the 2014 elections, winning about 6% of the national vote, enough to give the EFF 25 seats in the National Assembly. At the provincial level, the party won enough votes to have a presence in every provincial legislature. The EFF continued to grow in popularity and gain support. It did extremely well in the 2019 elections, taking almost 11% of the national vote, which increased its number of seats in the National Assembly to 44. The party saw significant growth at the provincial level, increasing its share of seats in all 9 provincial legislatures and taking official opposition party status in 3 provinces. The Economic Freedom Fighters, EFF, is a radical and militant economic emancipation movement, formed in the year 2013 with the aim of bringing together revolutionary, militant activists, community-based organizations as well as lobby groups under the umbrella of the political party pursuing the struggle of economic emancipation. The EFF is an anti-imperialist and leftist movement with an internationalist outlook anchored by popular grassroots formations and struggles. The political party has thus drawn inspiration from the broad Marxist-Leninist tradition school of thought in their analysis of the state, imperialism, culture, and class contradictions in every society. The EFF will, with determination and consistency, associate with the protest movement in South Africa and will also join in struggles that defy the unjust laws. The EFF is a South African movement with a progressive internationalist outlook, which seeks to engage global progressive movements. We believe that the best contribution we can make in the national and international struggle against global imperialism is to rid our country of imperialist domination. Expropriation of South Africa's land without compensation for equal redistribution in use. Nationalization of mines, banks, and other strategic sectors of the economy, without compensation. Building state and government capacity, which will lead to the abolishment of tenders. Free quality education, healthcare, houses, and sanitation. Protected industrial development to create sustainable jobs, which includes the introduction of minimum wages in order to bridge the gap between the wealthy and the poor, close the apartheid 2 wage gap and promote rapid career opportunities for Africans in the workplace. Massive development of the African economy and advocating for a shift from reconciliation to justice in the entire continent. Foster an accountable, corrupt-free government and society. The Economic Freedom Fighters appreciates the role played by the fathers and mothers of South Africa's liberation movement. The movement thus draws inspiration from the radical, working-class interpretation of the Freedom Charter since its adoption the year 1955, where the Charter was given various meanings. The EFF's interpretation of the Freedom Charter, however, is that South Africa indeed belongs to all who live in it, and ownership of South Africa's economic resources and access to opportunities should reflect the country belonging to its people. The transfer of mineral wealth beneath the soil, monopoly industries, and banks mean nationalization of such, and the Charter accepts that while the state is in command and in control of the commanding heights of South Africa's economy, people shall have equal rights to trade where they choose, to manufacture, and to enter all trades, crafts and professions, meaning that there will never be wholesale nationalization of the state control of every sector of South Africa's economy. Nationalization of strategic sectors and assets will be blended with a strong industrial policy to support social and economic development. The EFF draws inspiration from the broad Marxist, Leninist tradition and Fanonian schools of thought in their analyses of the state, imperialism, culture, and class contradictions in every society, according to its constitution. The EFF states that it takes inspiration from Burkinabe President Thomas Sankara in terms of both style and Marxist ideology. Prominent EFF member Jackie Shandu declared the party a proudly Sankarist formation. It criticizes the African National Congress and their primary opposition, the Democratic Alliance, for their allegedly pro-business stances, which it claims have sold out the black people of South Africa to capitalism as cheap labor. However, After 2016 local elections in South Africa, the EFF has suggested that they would back the Democratic Alliance in hung metro areas, while reiterating that they would not be entering into a coalition with any political party. It promises to tackle corruption, provide quality social housing, and provide free primary health care and education for all, as well as proposing to expropriate white-owned farmland, nationalize the mining and banking sectors, double welfare grants and the minimum wage, and end the proposed toll system for highways. The EFF has been vocal in its criticism of black business owners and black owners of mining companies in South Africa. In an address at the Oxford Union in November 2015, Malema spoke out against billionaire mining company owner Patrice Motsepe. Further protests in 2015, the EFF delivered demands that included the socialization of the mining sector and called for more explicit targets for the 26% B ownership required by law. The EFF is a vocal proponent of expanding the role of South African state-owned enterprises in the national economy. Malema addressed a crowd in Marikana, Rustenburg in the platinum mining area, blaming mining companies and calling out platinum mining company Leninist in particular, for poverty in the region. The EFF was the only parliamentary party that opposed the 2018 Political Party Funding Bill, a funding transparency law that requires political parties to publish who they receive funding from. The EFF presents itself as a Pan-Africanist party and supports the proposal for a United States of Africa. In respect to this, the EFF and Malema have repeatedly praised former Libyan leader Muammar Gaddafi, promising to implement many of the policies in South Africa that Gaddafi implemented in Libya. The party is against presence of the American military bases in Africa, most notably in Botswana. Prior to forming the EFF, Malema had called for the overthrow of Khama's government in Botswana. The EFF has been strongly critical of the government of Eswatini, one of the last absolute monarchies in the world, advocating for democratic reforms in the country and the removal of borders between it and South Africa. The party has supported a number of efforts to support change in Eswatini, ranging from trying to shut down the Eswatini-South Africa border with protest action to criticizing the electoral process in the country. The EFF is critical of France's presence in Africa. In 2022 the party picketed outside of and ultimately barricaded the country's embassy in Pretoria. The French ambassador to South Africa criticized the EFF for scapegoating France as the supposed source of all Africa's problems. Following the death of Queen Elizabeth, the EFF announced that they would not mourn her passing, instead stating that she never once acknowledged the atrocities her family inflicted on native people that Britain invaded across the world. The EFF is against Zionism, is strongly critical of Israel and its conflict with the Palestinians, referring to the country as evil and advocating for its destruction. During the 2023 Israel-Hamas war, the leader of the EFF, Julius Malema, stated the party's support for Hamas and that should the party win the 2024 election they would send arms to assist the organization. The EFF officially supports Russia's 2022 invasion of Ukraine, commending what they refer to as Russia's anti-imperialist program against NATO. During the Lady R incident, the party stated their support for any prospect of South African exports of military equipment to Russia that might assist in its invasion of Ukraine. The party supports closer bilateral relations between South Africa and China whilst considering Taiwan to be an integral part of the People's Republic of China. It has referred to the Chinese Communist Party as the torchbearer for all Marxist, Leninist formations in the world. The EFF supports the rights of the LGBT+ community in Africa and officially condemns laws that seek to ban homosexuality. The party was critical of Uganda's 2023 anti-homosexuality bill and led a protest outside of the Ugandan embassy in South Africa, urging Uganda's president not to sign it into law. However, later in 2023 the party was strongly criticized by members of the South African LGBT+ community for inviting Patrick Lumumba, a Kenyan professor known for making homophobic statements and who is publicly supportive of Uganda's 2023 anti-homosexuality bill, to deliver the party's 10th anniversary lecture at the University of Cape Town. According to a November 2013 Ipsos survey, the party's supporters are younger than average, with 49% being younger than 24, overwhelmingly black, 99%, and mostly male, with women representing only 33% of the support base. A disproportionate number of supporters live in Malema's home province of Limpopo, 28%, while only 1% live in KwaZulu-Natal, a more populous province. A 2018 survey conducted by social research company Citizen Surveys found that around 70% of EFF supporters were between the ages of 18 and 34, overwhelmingly black, 97%, mostly based in major metropolitan cities, 48%, predominantly male, 62%, with 43% of their support base located in Gauteng province. The party was expected to make an impact in the 2014 general election, taking between 4% and 8% of the national vote. This was potentially enough for the party to hold the balance of power in provinces where the governing African National Congress was in danger of losing its absolute majority. The ANC retained its absolute majority whilst the EFF got 6.35% of the vote in the 2014 election. High-profile members of the Central Command team include Floyd Shivambu, Fana Mokoena, and Mbuyiseni Ndlozi, national spokesperson. Controversial businessman Kenny Kunene joined the Central Command team in July 2013 before resigning from the Central Command team on August 20, 2013 and from the organization on August 26, 2013. On November 4, 2013, it was announced that Dalimpofu had left the African National Congress, ANC, after 33 years of membership and joined the EFF. Thank you for watching this video.